What is up, everyone? It is Aisling. Welcome back to my channel. Today I'm going to be doing a dupe video, which I have not done in a hot minute. I must have done my last dupes video maybe like 3 years ago, which is kind of scary because it's been that long since I've done one. But today I want to talk to you guys a little bit about Tarte, Stila. What else have I got here? Urban Decay. I have Estee Lauder. I have Natasha Denona and Huda Beauty. So I have a little mixed bag of products that I want to talk to you guys about. I used to do these dupes videos like regularly enough, and now I've kind of like completely forgotten how I structure them. But the way I'm going to do it is I'm basically going to pick the products that I found the dupes for and talk to you about why they are dupes. Some of them it's formula wise, some of them it's shade wise. So if you're interested in seeing today's dupes, then do keep watching. I'll say before I get into the dupes, if I do get any questions about my eye makeup, just if any of you want to look like a peacock for the day, I will link down that video. It is an essence video. And also anytime that you like the makeup look that I'm wearing on camera in a certain video, do check the description box because I generally have the makeup linked and I've generally featured it like in the video before or 2 videos previous. Hope that helps. Okay, so the first dupe is probably my favorite of the entire video because it's such a vast difference in price, which I just think is crazy that this palette that I'm going to talk about is like €130 here in Ireland. Well, you have to buy it off Cult Beauty. It is a beautiful palette and I do get quite a lot of use out of it, but €130 is 3 months tax on my car. The palette I'm talking about today is the Natasha Denona Gold palette, which looks like that on the inside. It is one of the most beautiful eyeshadow palettes, to be fair. If I wasn't sent this in PR, I would never ever ever have known how gorgeous this palette is or how pigmented and beautiful the eyeshadows are, and they're just insane. I absolutely can't actually get over the quality of the eyeshadows. Can we just deal with those shades? They're just gorgeous. But I was wearing this eyeshadow palette for so long, I was just like, oh my god, it's so beautiful, and honestly one of the best pigmentation wise that I have used. But there is a more affordable dupe for I think $16. Now it is on Alter Ego. It's called the Goddess palette. Alter Ego, their palettes are great. I really like them, but they don't ship outside the US. That's the only issue. So I am so sorry guys to anybody who doesn't live in the US. They are expanding. So I'm not sponsored or anything about them because I do have another palette that I want to talk about from the brand in this video, but this is what the eyeshadow palette looks like on the inside. They are identical. I'm not obviously going to be able to swatch all of the shades today, but I have a video link that I'll link down below where I compare both of these on my eyes and you can see just how beautiful they are. And I just absolutely love this eyeshadow palette. The quality of the shades are just as good as the Natasha Denona. They last just as long on my eyes anyway. All the shades are almost identical. They perform the same. The quality is almost identical and I highly rate this palette. So if you are looking at the Natasha Denona Gold palette and you've been eyeing it up for a while and you want something a little bit more affordable, then go with this. Like, the shades are incredible, pigmentation is great, and I actually use this palette a little bit more because it's just a little bit more convenient to travel with, and I just pack it in my bag, especially if I'm staying over my boyfriend's for the weekend. This is much more convenient to bring than this one, which is just a little bit bigger, and also I just wouldn't want it to get broken in my bag or anything considering it is so expensive. So I do travel with this and use this quite a lot. I highly recommend it and it is a great dupe, and it's not only a dupe for the shades, it's a dupe for the quality. I don't really see much difference, honestly. So next up we have the Estee Lauder Double Wear. This is the holy grail foundation for me. You guys know I've worn this for forever. As long as you have been watching my channel, you can be sure that I've been wearing this. It was one of the first high-end foundations that I ever got. It's just one of those stand out excellent foundations. However, it comes with a hefty price tag, which is around €40. It's between 38 and 42 depending on where you purchase it. If you get it in the airport, you get it a little bit more affordable. Sometimes some pharmacies have it a little bit like more affordable than others. It just depends on where you're getting it from. So when this other product came out last year, I was absolutely just blown over and I was so excited. This is the My Perfect Color Longwear Ultimate Matte Foundation. It is described as a double coverage matte finish oil-free foundation. It's €6 and it's from Penneys or Primark if you live anywhere else in the world, and they're bringing out so many new shades of this. They had like an event recently and I was so devo I couldn't go to it because it I was on the day that I was getting a root canal, and I think I talked about that before in another video, but they released so many new shades of this because it was the one thing that I actually didn't like about this foundation, is that there wasn't that many shades in it. I'm in the shade Toffee, just if you're wondering, and this is a complete and utter dupe for the Estee Lauder Double Wear. I compared these side by side. Again, I'll link that video down below. If there's any videos featuring any of these products, I will link them down below so you guys can see. But this performed exactly the same on my skin. Now the shades are a little bit different slightly, but it's not about the shades, it's about the formula, because obviously you're going to get your foundation in your shade. The formula of this is so comparable to the Estee Lauder Double Wear. They have, I think, changed the formula in this recently, so do tell me if I'm correct in it. This is an old bottle from last year, and I absolutely still adore this foundation, and I just think that these are both such comparable products. They are dupes in my eyes, and like I said, I will link down the video where you can see me wearing them side by side for the entire day, and I just think that they're identical. This is a bit of a random product for me, but I recently discovered facial oils and facial drop oils that you place onto your face, like maybe at night. So sometimes I put this on before my moisturizer, sometimes I put it on after, sometimes I put it on before my foundation. There's lots of different ways that I use this, and it is the Urban Decay Drop Shot Mix in facial oil. So these facial oils are expensive. I think this facial oil is about like 30, maybe close to €30. It is a step that you can completely avoid, but I do find when I don't avoid it, my skin looks really nice and really radiant. And I have oily skin, so I was told by a dermatologist, one of my subscribers actually, that the more oils that your skin has, if you are oily, then it is less likely to overproduce them. So your skin is already, you know, it already has its oils, so it doesn't need to produce more, if that makes sense. And then if you've drier skin, you're going to benefit obviously from a facial oil. And like I said, they're pretty expensive, but one product I did find that is exactly the same as this, like I really can't notice any difference, even down to the scent, they smell the same, and it's the Revolution baking oil. So this has 18 mils and this has 24, so you're getting a little bit less product in it, but I think this product was about €7, maybe even €6. It was really inexpensive, and to me these are identical. I use them exactly the same way, and I don't notice any difference when I use either one. And I've been using this for nearly a year, I would say, and I've been using this since February anyway, maybe January. So I've been using this for nearly 9-10 months, and I don't notice a massive difference between these. I've repurchased this one time since I got it originally. To me, these are dupes for one another because they perform exactly the same on my skin. I do not favor one over the other. I think they're both the same. So if you want to save yourself a bit of money on a facial oil, then definitely check out the Makeup Revolution one, because I don't think you'll be disappointed. So I have no recollection if I've ever mentioned this before, but if I have, apologies, and if not, then here we have a new dupe. The MAC Mineralized Skin Finish in Light is one of my favourite products to place underneath my eyes. It just makes my under eye area really, really bright, really fresh, awake. It is very finely milled. It just doesn't settle into fine lines. It doesn't emphasize any creasing or anything like that under my eyes. It's just perfect for me. Works really, really well. However, it is hefty at €33, I think €34, so it's quite expensive for an under eye powder. Like, I don't use it anywhere else on my face. Like, one area is the only area I use it for. In the last like 2, maybe 3 years, I've been using the Banana Brighten Up powder from Essence. Absolutely love this. It is a little bit trickier to get your hands on these days. I usually get this from pharmacies on their websites and not actually in store. I haven't seen this on an Essence counter in the last 18 months. This is my second one of these. I've used up one entirely, and in my opinion, the quality, just the way the powders are milled and everything, they perform exactly the same. I'm not saying that they are identical dupes, because this is a mineralized powder whereas this is a pressed powder, so I am aware that the formulas are different, but I'm just talking about how they perform underneath the eyes. They are incredible, both these powders, and I just can't believe that this one for like €4 is almost identical to a €33 powder. It just is baffling to me, and I use this exactly the same way. I have it underneath my eyes today and it just looks amazing. Both these powders perform exactly the same on me, and like I said, if you want to save a bit of money, definitely check out the Essence Banana powder. This next dupe is for the Huda Beauty Nude palette. This palette came out, I want to say last November, maybe October. It's out nearly a year. It's a beautiful eyeshadow palette. I have a whole video dedicated to it, which again I can link down below for you guys. It is beautiful. The shades are incredible. It's just a wonderfully formulated palette. It looks great on the eyes. It's one of my favorite palettes I think she's ever brought out, just for the formula and the blendability and just how every shadow looks different and individual on the eyes. It was definitely unique when it came out and still is right now. It is expensive at €54, and that's where this product comes in. It's the Daydream palette, again from Alter Ego, and it is identical. I have a video on both these palettes on my channel, comparing them side by side, on one eye and one on the other eye. To me, they're like almost, if not the same palette. The shades look a bit different in the Alter Ego Daydream palette, but they swatch exactly the same as the Huda Beauty nude palette. So sometimes you might like see a shadow in this and you're like, how could that match this one here? But I compared them all on my channel, swatched them side by side. You can see like the pigmentation is almost, if not better, in the Alter Ego palette. I know that sounds really weird, but I just find that the shadows blend a little bit better. They're not as powdery and they're much more pigmented. I also prefer, and I said this in the video, the sparkle shadows from this palette, because I just feel like they have more of a sparkle in them. Whereas I find from the Huda Beauty palette, they're just a bit flat. They don't have that glitter and the chunks to them. So I don't know, you won't be able to see that here, but that's why I will link down the video for you guys, because it's just a much better explanation of how these palettes are dupes. The shadows in this are a little bit more of like a chunky consistency, more of like a glitter or like a pigment. So if you're using a pigment from like Inglot, it has like little chunks of glitter in it, which is what I absolutely love. Now if you don't love that, then you will prefer the formula of the chunkier shadows in this, whereas I prefer them in the Daydream palette. And I reach for the Daydream palette a lot more as well, because for the same reason as the Natasha Denona, I just feel like the Huda Beauty one is so expensive, and if anything happened to it on my travels, I think I'd be devo.com. This palette is like $16, I think. The Huda Nude palette is nearly 3 times the price, so it's just a no-brainer for me. I definitely do recommend Alter Ego's website. They've loads of palettes on it and they've new ones coming out all the time, and they're really kind. They constantly send me out their new releases, and whenever I get them, I feature them on my channel. I do really like the quality. I just can't wait for them to branch out of the US and ship worldwide. You can use shipping service that costs like €3 or €4 on top of the shipping from Alter Ego, so it is another option for you guys, but hopefully they bring out international shipping soon. I did a video last week and I used a foil shadow in it, and I was like, oh my god, this reminds me so much of something I already have. And then when I was going through my collection, I was like, duh, how did you not realize that? So the product I'm talking about is the Stila Shimmer and Glow. This one's called La Douche. I absolutely love it. It's this gorgeous green shade. Green is one of my favorite colors to wear in my eyes. It just really brings out the brown, hazel, whatever color my eyes are, it just brings out my eyes. But it's an absolutely gorgeous shade and it's just beautiful. But it's €23. However, I was in Penneys last week and they have this €3 eye foil. These are liquid foils, and this one is in, does it have a name? I don't know. I don't think it does have a name. It's just the green shade. It has a little gold lid and they have tons of different colors. Down to the formula, this is almost identical to the one from Stila. The formula of this works the same on my eye as the Stila one. So the way I work with the Stila one is I apply a very light layer of this, because if I apply too many layers it kind of chunks up, and that's exact same with this other product, because you would have seen that in the video. I kind of applied just a little bit too much, but it's an absolutely gorgeous like army green shade that kind of shimmers with a gold, and they're identical and they work the same on my eyes, and I absolutely love them. And I can't believe these eye foils are €3 from Penneys. There's like, I think maybe 4 in the range, so I'm going to pick up all of the shades because they are so good. The formula is the same and the shade is the same in the green one as La Douche from Stila, just if you are wanting to pick up that dupe, but the actual formula is just the same as the shimmer and glows from Stila, and I highly recommend them. So that is like one of my favorite dupes I think I found as well from today's video, because I just think that it is crazy how similar they are, and one of them is €3 and the other one's like 25 nearly, or 22. I don't know what exact price it is, but it's a lot more expensive. Next, I want to talk about the Everlasting lip liners from Kat Von D, and one shade in particular. This is Bow and Arrow, my favorite shade ever. It is the shade that I wear constantly. It's what's on my lips right now. I absolutely adore it. The alternative dupe that I have for you guys is Natural Lip Liner from NYX. These lip liners are so long lasting and they're almost identical in shade. The formula is what kind of captured me most. because this is a really long lasting lip liner, I was like, is there anything else that I have from an affordable brand that is as long lasting as it? And the lip pencils from NYX definitely are. The only thing I do notice is that this one is a teeny bit creamier because it's in like a wind up product, but for me they dry out a lot quicker, so I do prefer pencils in general. But the shade, like I said, is identical on my lips and in swatches. Definitely been featured in a ton of videos from me, guys. It's the Tarte Shape Tape. I love it. I think everybody loves it. It's a cult product. We all went mad for it a few years ago when it initially launched. It was like the best thing since sliced bread. It's just one of those up there great products. But it is expensive. It's about €25, I think, from the Tarte website, which for me is a bit outrageous for a concealer. Considering with another £5 on this, you could buy a high-end foundation for €30, which it's just kind of crazy that it's so expensive. But it is a really good consistency, and to be honest, it lasts so long in the bottle and on my face. It's just a really good concealer, so that's it there. Like, it's no point in me actually showing you a swatch of it because it's concealer. But the product that I found is a dupe for it, and I have a video on this as well, is the Makeup Revolution Conceal and Define. It is one of my favorite concealers. I'm wearing it today, and everything down from the consistency to how it wears to how it brightens, everything about this product is identical to the Tarte Shape Tape. This does come in a jumbo bottle now. I think you can get it for like €7 or €8 for almost the same amount of product. What's in this actually? There is 10 mils in this, and in this concealer there's 3.4, but you can get a jumbo one with 13 mils in it. So it is a much better bang for your buck than this. And also the Conceal and Define, like I said, performs exactly the same. I've gotten back into like loving it again recently because I was testing it against the Conceal and Hydrate. I love this one way more, to be honest. But if you wanted to try Tarte Shape Tape, I recommend going with this first. See how you get on with the consistency of this and the formula. And if you like this, then by all means get Tarte Shape Tape. But if you're just not sure that you want to spend €25 on a concealer that you don't know if you're even going to like, then like I said, just try this one out. But they are identical in formula and the way they perform on my eyes anyway. And I highly recommend both of them. It's just personal preference which one you want to go with. This next product is not necessarily a dupe in shade, it's a dupe in formula, and it's the Park Avenue Princess Palette. I absolutely love this. It's from Tarte. It's just gorgeous. It smells like chocolate. It's absolutely stunning. It's just one of those gorgeous palettes that I just love to like look at, and oh, I think it's beautiful and it performs really well on my skin. But recently I got this palette from Essence, which is Oh My Contour. Now the shades are different and it's pretty obvious to see because we have 3 brightening shades and 3 contouring shades, whereas you have 4 contouring shades in this and 2 highlighting shades. I thought this might be like the Kat Von D Shade and Light, but the formula is very different in both of these palettes. These are really, really creamy. They reminded me so much of the Tarte Park Avenue shades because they have that same creamy consistency. So that's why I'm saying the shades are not identical, but it's more along the line of the formula. So they're just some of the shades swatched. So if you are looking to get a similar formula and maybe these shades weren't kind of like matching you or you didn't really like them, because there is 2 shimmery shades in this as well, then I would definitely recommend picking up the Oh My Contour from Essence because it just performs exactly the same. And even these lighter shades here, which are so pretty, have a similar feel to the lighter shades from the Tarte. So there we have Tarte and there we have Essence. I actually think the Essence one nearly are more finely milled. It's like they're really buttery. I can't explain it. It's like they're almost a wet formula. It's so hard to explain. But the Tarte palette is quite unique with that formula. It's just like that real creamy, buttery powder, and it's just so nice underneath the eyes. It's really smoothing and it's great to contour with. The Oh My Contour is almost identical in quality. Sorry, I'm not like holding these up. They're just very blinding. Consistency is almost identical. The shades are a little bit different, so there is a bit of diversity with regards to the shade, but it's the formula that I think is a dupe definitely for the Tarte Park Avenue Princess palette. I think this palette's like €6, whereas this is like well in the 30s. The longevity is the same in both these palettes as well. I don't find that either one fades quicker than the other. I just find that they're great as contouring shades go and brightening shades. So for my final product, I want to talk about the Professional. Now I know I have definitely compared a couple of products to this in the past, but I think most of them have been discontinued. One of them particularly was the Blur, I think it was called, from L'Oreal. L'Oreal Nude Blur Cream or Blur Magic or something like that. I used to love that back in the day. It came in purple packaging. They completely and utterly discontinued it. Fell off the face of the earth. I didn't even know where it went to, and I could never buy it again. It was extremely sad for me when that happened. So I have found a dupe for the Professional, and it is the Pore Blur from Makeup Revolution. These are like the same product. It's crazy to me. I don't know how products like, or brands like Makeup Revolution can get away with like duping things almost identically. Same as like the Alter Ego. I don't know how they get away with it, but I'm kind of glad they do, because then I have more affordable products. This one here is the Benefit one, and then the top one is the Makeup Revolution. The formula is identical to these. The best thing about this, not only the price, but it is vegan and cruelty free. So if you did like the Benefit Professional but just you're vegan, or you use only cruelty free products, then this is a definite must have, and it is a completely and utterly identical formula. Like I said, don't know how they do it. Wraps up the dupes video. I hope you guys enjoyed today's video. I have so many more dupes. If you guys want to see another video on it, then definitely give this one a thumbs up. And if there's any dupes you want me to compare, maybe leave them like in the comment section below and I'll check them out. So do let me know if you pick up any of today's products, and or if you've used them before, what do you think of them? And if you did like this whole dupe video and me bringing them back, then definitely let me know in the comment section. I'm gonna love yous and leave yous, and I'll talk to you very, very soon. Mwah. Bye guys, love yous.